They told us. So just like Freemasonry, you know what I'm saying? They got an exoteric and an esoteric. So really what they meant is 5 senses. So if we can take 2 of these senses and double them, which was what you see and what you hear, we'll take care of the rest of the man or the woman. So they control what we see and hear. You can't learn to read, you can't have your own religion, you can't pray without us, any of that. I'm gonna have to put somebody on the, you wanna watch the door for me? Because it keeps being locked. Here, so when you're limited by the things you see, your movement is restricted. So tonight you're going to see some things that are going to help expand how you move, right? And we're going to talk about some things that are in nature that exist that can help us expand past what we've been looking at. You know what I'm saying? Because we always talking about somebody describing God to us. Somebody's already describing God to us. Let me tell you, God can do this, God can do that. But if you get there and see it for yourself, then guess what? Nobody needs to tell you no more. You're not a believer no more. You a knower because you have then experienced what God feels like. You know, and then you can't even hardly describe it, you know. Because I think God is like good sex. I can't describe that. I just be like, it was just so good. And how you describe it, so what y'all do? It was just so good. Yes, and when we thrive forward like that right there, but some of our spiritual experiences we really don't thrive for like we should. So tonight we have a very special guest in the house, not just your run-of-the-mill person who found some stuff and then was like, I'm this now. You know what I'm saying? You ever had one of them people? They mess around and found some weed on the ground, and now and then all of a sudden they sell marijuana. You know what I'm saying? We don't have that tonight. We have an official doctor. He's an OBGYN. He's delivered tons of babies and stuff. If anybody's pregnant and you're going to have a baby tonight, we good. We good. Don't do it, though. Just don't do it, because I ain't seen that yet. I'm waiting. All right? It's on TV. The toad, man. Wow. Woo. I've experienced the toad. I experienced it on my birthday. I never tell people that we try it. You experience it. I thought I was going to try it. You know, that's what I thought. And then it was an experience because it took me. You know what I'm saying? It was like, come on here, let me show you. And it's not compromising. It is it doesn't debate with you, and it gets right to the point. It's very radical. And the changes that have happened since May the 18th, what a full moon in Scorpio in my life have been something I can't even record. Like I wouldn't be able to function in what I do to earn money if I was just sitting there and writing every occasion. That's how many things happen. It's like on a 15-minute basis, I would have to stop and write for 7 minutes. Then go along, do something else, and be like, boom. Because the sequence of events changes because I saw something that changed the way I moved. I felt something that changed the way I move. And it's just more sequence of events, right? Just like y'all being here tonight. Man, I hope it's some marijuana smokers, mushroom triers, DMT people, ayahuasca people, spiritual people in the house. If you fall up in one of them categories, raise your hand. Damn. All right then. All right. You see, nobody had to we had one confessor, you know what I'm saying? Which is A-okay. So, I don't know. He's got 2 presentations. I went down to Mexico recently. He had invited me after my toad experience, and I wasn't ready when I wanted to. No, when he invited me, I wasn't ready. When I was ready, he wasn't there. And then he was like, "Come on, you want to go and you want to?" I said, "Do you need along? Yeah, you want to tag along?" And I was like, "Yeah, you need an assistant," because he had an assistant in my ceremony, and I was like, "Sure." And I went to Detroit. Then I went to San Francisco, then went to LA. When I was in San Francisco, he just kept saying, the plane tickets are so cheap in Mexico. The plane tickets are so cheap in Mexico. We're going to just fly from here to here to here. He had me online. Next thing you know, I done bought like 4 plane tickets. All flying all through Mexico. Never been to Mexico before. The M in Mexico stands for majestic and magic and magnificent. If you've never been, you'll be going with me. Or you can go with Baba Kalinde, because now I got to put a trip together. I haven't done a retreat yet, but y'all have to come. So the first one of these, he's going to give you all some samples of Mexico, and I got a lot on my phone. The water in December is still 87 degrees. Okay? Just want to stress that. It's not 87 here in Atlanta. All right? And we're going to stay out there all day before we go to the mountain. All right. Man, Man, I could just talk, but I want y'all to put a big round of applause. This is the first time in Atlanta in 15 years. Dr. Gerry.
Well, thank you for being here. It's an honor to be here and share a little bit of light and love. So yeah, let's get to it, bro. Can you pass me the next slide? So, they say that a picture says more than 1,000 words. I like this picture a lot. This would be exactly the moment you take that hit of the toad medicine and when it, boom, starts working on. There's a whole bunch of sacred geometry, there's a whole bunch happening. So fast, so powerful. People say that it's over 1,000 hours of psychotherapy in just 15 minutes. Next slide. I'm the author of the book, The God Molecule. It was, I think, in the late 90s that Jonathan Ott termed the molecule 5-MEO DMT, which is the active compound of toad medicine, as the God molecule. If you guys are aware, DMT is related as the spirit molecule, but 5-MEO DMT is called the God molecule, and I'll tell you why. Next slide. So, there's this God theory, regardless of what we've been taught at home, at school, at church, at the end of the day, I tell my experience, my spiritual and religious experience had to do with light and love, in a nutshell. That's it. It was just light and love. So, we know the good old book, the Bible, the first sentence, let there be light. And in a way, we are made up of light. Every atom in our body, in our world, originated in the last gasp of a dying star, which threw the remains of its energy out into the galaxy in a cloud of rare elements. We are cosmic dust. We are sacred, divine dust. Next slide, brother. So, if we're beings of light and created by and sustained by a star, we know every culture has intuitively recognized this and credited that the light is the source of our divine nature, or the source of all living things. Mystics since the beginning of time have attributed an understanding of the divine knowledge of that light. And at the end, we come to the ultimate realization in which the light and I, there's no boundaries, we are one. So, for me, if I were to what is God? God is not an old wise man, a white guy on the clouds, waiting for me to mess things up, to give me a hard time. No, it's a living force that creates everything in the universe or multiverses, because there is not a single universe. The never stopping, ever moving, continuously changing energy force that dwells in every living being, the eternal light of everlasting love. The infinite pulsating field of intelligent energy from which all physical forms manifest and into which everything shall one day return. So we got God and we got entheogens. Now this word is sounding so much now. Entheogens, just as a simple reminder. Entheogens comes from the word theo, which means God. So entheogens are the substances that generate God within ourselves. And then we got cool words like they say, entheogens, teonanacatl, which this is an Aztec word, a few hundred years ago, before the Spanish even came to this continent, and they termed teonanacatl, which is the sacred mushrooms of Mexico. The Aztecs call it flesh of the gods. So still, theo, as in God. And then we got an amazing tree that I just recently found out that lives in the jungles of Central America, called Virola theodora, which its sap, it's pure 5-MEO DMT. So just, amazing things that boom, 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 are all connected, and you're like, oh wow. So in a way, yeah, we're all connected. Next slide, brother. So, next slide. Regardless, like I said, of the representation that each person or culture has of God, I'm gonna share how I found God within myself. And it was not when I kissed the toad. This was a culminating point in my life, don't get me wrong, but it all started in the desert. The toad is called Incilius alvarius. It used to be called Bufo alvarius, but now they changed it into Incilius alvarius. And this is the Sonoran desert toad. This is the Colorado River toad, and it is North America's largest toad. Unfortunately, now that we found the species that has this unique medicine, we've reacted in a childish attitude. And now we all want to have this toad home. We all want to grab a toad and keep it in captivity. And you know, it's sad because it is being affected by our human demographic explosion, the extraction of the species from its natural habitat, global warming. I mean, all these things are affecting negatively. And of course, if we add to this the overpopulation, the overconsumption, waste, pollution, you know, depletion, destruction, all these things, we're not making it easier for the next generations. We are affecting unique, you know, things that once they're gone, they're gone. And it's happening with ayahuasca. They're being overcaught in ayahuasca, and now, you know, you need to go deep into the jungle to find the medicine. Same thing with the peyote cactus. You used to walk, you know, a few kilometers and you would find a whole bunch of them. Now you have to go hours and hours. So we're running scarce out of these beautiful, unique molecules. Hence, the need to create an organization, work as a team. I wish I could do all these things, but you know, if we all work together, then it's easier. Hence, the nature of creating this foundation. This is a non-profit organization, which I'm proudly the CEO. We work in Mexico, in the US, in the border region. Our main mission is to protect and help the toad in its natural habitat, build toad sanctuaries, and you know, in the way we've also identified that other species are being affected by all this, such as the desert turtle and the Gila monster. So in a way, we're trying to raise awareness, work as a team, so we can protect this toad, because at the end, there's a limited number of toads in the planet. There's not enough medicine for everyone, for the millions and millions of people, of humans. No, and affecting the ecosystem, like we need to do something about it. So, you know, these are our goals, basically to restore the dwindling toad population, to ensure the proper and ethical handling of the toad and extraction of the venom. You don't have to kill the toad, you know, you don't have to hurt it, and there are ways to do these things properly. And of course, establish guidelines for the proper administration of this medicine. I'm also planning to train facilitators and create a retreat center in the desert so that people can come and meet my toads. I've been milking the same toads for now 14 years, proudly. And of course, conduct research on the efficacy of this medicine, because at the end, we're still in diapers. We're still unleashing the true potential of these antigens. Who are candidates for this amazing compound? People who are suffering from severe depression, hard drug addictions. Especially if you add ibogaine to the toad, then we have a more chance of success. Terminal patients, any pathological pattern of behavior, you know, and of course, sexually repressed people. At the end, this is just a huge sign that says trauma. You know, we've been traumatized, and we've been carrying also trauma from past generations, our grandmother, our great-grandmother, and we have to free ourselves from this. And I found that toad medicine is so effective. You know, it's straightforward. Oh, there are contraindications. Unfortunately, even though it feels that this medicine is for everyone, people who are mentally unstable, schizophrenia and stuff, you know, it shouldn't be. I wouldn't advise to them. But we've healed people with those diagnoses. So anyway, for me, like I said, it all began in the desert. I had to walk. I'm originally from Guadalajara, and I kept dreaming. I was 13 years old, and I kept having this repeated dream. I'm walking in the desert, and I'm looking for peyote. And I had no idea what that word meant. So I go to my old man, I'm like, hey, Pops, like, what's peyote? And he's like, that's drug for the Indians. That's what Indians take to get high. And I'm like, okay. Look up in the Encyclopedia of Mexico, peyote cactus. Sacred hallucinogenic cacti used by North American Indians for spiritual purposes. I'm like, wow, that doesn't sound like a drug. So I was immediately pulled, and I was like, I have to go there. So I told my parents I was going to spend the night at my neighbors, the weekend at my neighbors, and I just rushed to the bus station, took a bus to Real de 14. That's the spot, that's the heart of Mexico. This is the whole country, this is like the heart. No? And that's a very ancient place where the local Indians from Jalisco Every year they make a pilgrimage. They walk all the way from this region, all the way here, to harvest the peyote cactus, to do their ceremonies. For the Huichol Indians, this is the most sacred thing in their lives.
How far is the walk?
This is around 600 miles. So yeah, it's amazing. Next slide. So I'm gonna show you what Real de 14 looks like. This is an amazing place. It's full of magic and energetic like vibrations. This is a town that's built in the top of the mountains in the middle of the desert. This was originally the first mint house of Mexico. The first telephone we had in the country was a direct line from Mexico City to Real de 14, because there was so much gold, so much silver in these mountains that, you know, as soon as they found out of the mineral potential, they just started, you know, to extract all this gold and silver. Curiously, this place, of course, got abandoned because the revolution began, and then they started to bomb the mines, and the rich people, they just ran away. The slaves and the working people said, like, where are we going to go? We're just going to live here. We spent our whole lives here. So their descendants are the local people of that region. And we see a lot of ruins, a lot of money was invested, but it's basically the sacred land of the Huichol Indians. This is Huichol art. These are the Huichol Indians. The Maracame, it's the medicine man of the Huichol tribe. And this is the desert peyote cactus. None is equal as the other, they're unique. The Huichol name Hikuri translates to God's light. Again, light. This is the royal Hikuri, the one that only has 5 buttons. Well, they call this a peyote button, but in Spanish we call the peyote has balls or buttons. So the 5th one, they call it the royal Hikuri. They say that if you eat that, you get closer to God. It'll take you closer to God. Once they harvest the peyote cactus, they go to the top of the mountain, to a sacred mountain called El Quemado, which also has an amazing story in history, to say like a Thanksgiving ceremony right there. So they close the circle. Once they go to the desert, they harvest the medicine, they come to the top, and they say thank you. So in a way, next slide, we see a lot of you know, their visions and basically their whole religion is based on the peyote experience. And we see very colorful bead art, and this is just a resemblance of what the effect is. You can, I mean, everything. People ask me, what do you feel when you eat peyote? And I'm like, well, it would be like Mother Nature's ecstasy, like MDMA. It's a heart opener. It's a medicine that if you pass the threshold of eating a sufficient amount and holding it, you will have an amazing experience in which everything is alive, everything is breathing, and of course you can get in touch with the spiritual world. These are more art from the peyote visions. Anyway, it's an amazing medicine. I went into the desert, only 13 years old. I ate around 8 to 10 peyote cactuses, and I had a beautiful deja vu. I knew I had lived this before somehow, and I could even predict things happening. I was like so aware of my mind, as if it got increased to such a potential that I thought something and boom, it would manifest. And I'm like, whoa, that's scary. Like, I should be careful with what I think. But anyway, I was very young. I had maybe not the spiritual maturity to realize what I was tapping into, but definitely changed my life for good. It was because of a peyote experience that I realized that I was born to become a doctor. So after living a few years there, I called my parents and I'm like, you know, I want to go back to medicine school. I want to be a doctor. I want to heal people the proper way. So anyway, I graduated with honors, and living in the desert, I got a chance to go to Oaxaca. Pass me the previous one, just to tell them where so this is Real de 14. And living there, I got a chance to travel to Oaxaca, because I heard about these sacred magic mushrooms that only grow in Oaxaca, in the mountains of Oaxaca. And then I read about Maria Sabina, which is the mushroom priestess that works with this and that has healed, you know, a whole bunch of people with these compounds. So I really got fascinated, and I felt that was my second level. Okay, once I knew peyote, I'm ready. I'm ready to meet the mushroom. So I launched myself into a train ride all the way down to Oaxaca. Beautiful, amazing place. You've got the mountains facing at the beach, which basically, I fell so in love with this place that I basically moved myself. Now home for me is Oaxaca. That's where I'm flying on Monday. But these mountains are so unique because the recently fresh clouds just boom collapse into those mountains. So the humidity is outstanding and makes it ideal for mushrooms to grow. This is mushroom paradise. The mushroom season begins from May till September, late September. And I mean, my God, look at that. I mean, everywhere you look around, it's just nature, nature. You can actually see the clouds enter your cabin. And on a clear side, you can see the ocean. That's why it's called San Jose del Pacifico. And this is the Teonanacatl. This is the flesh of the gods for the Aztecs, Zapotecs, and a lot of tribes from Mexico. They relate this mushroom as the thunder mushroom. The more thunders there are, the more mycelium will grow. And there's even a theory that says that a drop of water being absorbed by those mountain earth at the specific decibels, the thunder the thunder makes a sound at certain decibels, and the water being absorbed at the same time, it makes like a spark. And there's an intimate relationship between thunderstorms and mushrooms. The more thunderstorms, the more mushrooms starts to sprout. And in a way, they are like little arrows pointing up to the heavens, just as a reminder. Now, they are called landslide mushrooms because they grow exactly where the earth opens up, way down deep. That's where they like to grow. It's actually pretty dangerous to collect them because you're down there, and if it starts raining, literally the walls collapse over you. It's pretty hard to get out of there if it starts raining. So there's specialized people that do this for a living, los hongueros. And of course, there's all these edible mushrooms. Like I learned at least 90 different edible species. And when it's mushroom season, I'm taking my coffee, I go to the forest, few splits, I come back with bags, pounds and pounds of food. Mushrooms for soup, mushroom for dehydrating. It's mushroom paradise. So, Teonanacatl, flesh of the gods. The scientific name might be Psilocybe cerulescens or Psilocybe zapotecorum. Usually wrapped in that leaf. Boy, I had the equivalent of 25 grams of dried mushrooms on my first mushroom experience in Oaxaca. And I literally defeated death. Like, I died. I went out of my body and I came back. My friends who were tripping with me, he's like, oh, he's gone. They went back to town and told, we lost Gerry, but it's all good. He died how he wanted. Next thing I know, it's raining. I'm coming back into my body and I'm like, wow, I just experienced eternity. Wow. So I come down and everyone's like, wow, you're alive. And I'm like, yeah. Anyway, amazing experience. I was stupefied. I had defeated that. I had experienced a truly out-of-body experience. I've gone to source and came back with a firm purpose. I knew I was born to become a doctor. So I literally bounced from San Jose to medicine school, graduated with honors, and became the local doctor of this amazing village. Living there as a local doctor, two guys from the Bay Area stepped into my office and says like, hey doctor, are you fond of mushrooms? And I'm like, of course man, I love them. And they were like, would you like to smoke some DMT? And ding, I'm like, I knew what DMT was. It was the active component of ayahuasca, and in a way, the active component of psilocybe mushrooms is psilocybin, which is 4-phosphoryl DMT. So I'm like, yeah, I would love to. Next thing I know, I'm out there in the forest, hitting this pipe of supposedly DMT. My God, I mean, just remembering that experience. Taking that first puff, I immediately expanded into all directions. I ceased to exist for a moment and became the whole universe. Literally. And boom, I come back and I'm like, this is a toad. I knew, with every single cell, I knew this was the toad. And I told the guys, this is a toad, right? And they were like, yep, that's the toad, Doc. I'm like, wow, I have to meet them. I really have to meet them. Because, I usually take a lot of peyote, a lot of mushrooms, to reach that level of awareness, that unity, that spiritual, religious experience. And finding something that just one puff, boom, I'm there without eating and waiting and dwelling for hours. It's right there. So, of course, we exchanged knowledge. I showed them where the mushroom grew, and they showed me where the toads lived. I grabbed my bags as soon as possible and just launched myself into Sonora Desert, and I met these amazing beings. And honestly, once you're in front of them, you're like, wow. I had this, like, oh, toad, like the skin. In Mexico, there's a belief that if you touch them, you get warts. So you don't grab toads, you certainly don't build them.
That's in Atlanta too, they think.
Right? And if you're a kid, you kill toads, and they applaud you. But there I am, seeing these amazing toads, having experienced their medicine. I was in complete awe and learned that these are amazing beings, super friendly. I meet my toads and they don't just run away, they stay there, they're curious. And in less than what I thought, I declared myself the protector of these things. I'm like, I'm gonna protect you guys, I'm gonna make whatever it takes, to keep you guys doing whatever you're doing, because it changed my life. It definitely changed my life. The medicine came to me in a moment, curiously, where I had lost all hope for my life, humanity, whatever. My mom got diagnosed with cancer. I lost my girl, lost my dog. I mean, it seemed that it couldn't get worse than I was. And I really saw no light at the end. Even though I had already been exposed to these amazing compounds, I was like, why me? Like, why is this happening to me? Probably a huge Mars retrograde at the time. I would bet. But toad medicine came just in perfect timing, realizing that it was all in my mind, that I had all the divinity, all the power to fulfill my dreams. And as soon as I dedicated my life into sharing this beautiful compound, it just proved 180-degree change. Going back to the toads and to the lecture. So these toads only live in Sonora and Arizona and a little part of California. Next slide. That's basically the only region in the whole planet where we can find the Bufo alvaris toad. Next slide. This is the Sonoran Desert. It's a very dry, very hot place. It can get up to 110, 120 degrees. And it's the Sea of Cortez that gives the humidity to this desert and helps, of course, Bufo to thrive. That's the medicine man of the Seri tribe, good friend of mine. Oh yeah, he loves me. He's like, as soon as I came, he's like, you got anything to smoke? I'm like, yeah. Anyway, the desert is so amazing. There's not only toad, but there's also the sacred saguaro cactus, which is also a very powerful medicine plant. And you just need to eat a little piece of this huge cactus to feel it for over 20 hours. So this place is extremely magical. Even though it's very adverse, the temperature, the dryness, makes you wonder, what is the toad doing there? Like, why isn't the toad in the jungle where there's more water or on the beach? No, it's actually there on the desert. And it thrives. It spends actually 9 months in deep hibernating sleep under the ground, waiting for the thunders to start. And as soon as the monsoon season comes and the rainy season begins, they awaken, they come out of the ground to eat and to reproduce in a very small, brief window of 2 months, 2 to 3 months. The rest of the time, they just go underground. And of course, they only come at night because the heat during daylight is so harsh that it would kill them. If anybody hurts a toad at night and it's unable to go underground, it'll die by the next morning just with the heat of the sun. We found out archaeological evidence that the Hohokam Indians from the Sonoran Desert, thousands of years ago, they diverted the Gila River for agricultural purposes and helped in a way Bufo alvaris to thrive to this very day. So it's an amazing animal. It's the only mammal, the only animal that produces 5-MEO DMT. There's over 386 Bufo toads all over the world, but only in Sirius alvaris, like I said, possesses in its venom glands the medicine or this powerful antigen. These are the Bufo alvaris sightings where you would used to see the toads. That image was at least 15, 20 years ago. And nowadays it has only reduced to a very small area where those toads are. The medicine is squirted very carefully without harming the toad. The medicine squirts, and there has to be a receptive vehicle, such as a glass surface, to collect the medicine. So someone is holding the glass while other is milking the toads, right? And as soon as we milk, they have a couple of glands. I usually don't deplete them completely. I leave some glands with venom for personal defense purposes, whatever, in case if a predator wants to attack it. But yeah, it takes around 6 to 7 toads to get a dose for one person. Because at the end of the day, show me the next slide. Anyway, go back. This is something really beautiful. 2 before. Check the irises. Purple. Wow, that's beautiful. Next slide. This is freshly collected medicine. It looks like semen, actually. But next slide. Once it's fully dried, it becomes golden flakes. And next slide, this is the appearance of one single time milk. The gland itself will replenish itself within 24 hours with a very clear liquid, hardly with any antigens left. But if you continue to milk this many times, this is the appearance of the medicine. So if it's whitish, that's a toad that has been constantly milked, and it doesn't have the proper concentration as the golden one. Next slide. Look at that expression. Tell me, is that fair? I mean, it's almost like, having our loved ones in prison. Like, no animal should be left to this fate. So please, don't buy them on the internet. If someone is offering you a toad, don't. They deserve to be roaming free in the Sonoran Desert. They have a purpose there. So, 5-MeO DMT, the God molecule. We see its structure, its chemical structure. Next slide. It is very, very similar to tryptophan. Check it out. And melatonin, serotonin, and even psilocybin. They're all almost identical. Look at it. So, yeah, these are definitely alchemical keys that interact specifically with our brain tissue. Next slide. This is where the magic is, where the magic occurs. We have the gland. Inside the gland, there is a single layer of cells, and within these cells, that's where the alchemical process happens. These cells secrete bufotenin, and inside that cell, there's an enzyme called all-methyl transferase that converts, next slide, the common bufotenin, next slide, into 5-MeO DMT. It basically adds an oxygen group. This is the gross appearance of the medicine, freshly milled. We ran the medicine through spectrophotometry and different analysis, and we realized that not only do we find 5-MeO DMT as the most commonly abundant molecule, but there's also 20 different compounds, next slide, that if we analyze them each uniquely, half a dozen of them, next slide, are at least unknown tryptamines. Next. You're going to see the whole formula. So not only 5-MeO DMT, but it also has bufotenin, dimethyl 5-methoxytryptamine, methoxytryptophospho. All of these are tryptamines, which we hardly know about. And people still ask me, is there a difference between synthetic 5-MeO DMT and toad medicine? And I'm like, hell yeah, there's 20 differences. And they still ask if there's, a drastic effect. Of course, synthetic will never be equiparable to natural, nature-produced DMT or toad medicine. Dose, what's a chart? Threshold dose might be 10 to 20 milligrams. A light dose, 20 to 50 milligrams. Common dose, 50 to 100.
What do you give with Dr. Gerry?
I give a strong dose, 100 to 200 milligrams. And it's known that if you take the first time more than 120 milligrams without any psychedelic experience, you can fall victim of complete amnesia. From what happened? So we don't want that. I think the important thing in life is to remember everything, even the bad thing, the crucial things. If we remember every single thing that we've lived, it's hardly the chance that we're going to fall into or step into the same rock over and over. Anyway, next one. So, what happens when you take that medicine? What happens when you take that toad? basically on the brain. We've already put electrodes and we've analyzed and do brain scanning. Next slide. This medicine induces a very high theta wave. And compared to the normal, our normal state of awareness is a beta, alpha, but toad produces a huge theta wave. And this can only be seen in deep meditation, REM sleep, and dreams. That's fascinating by itself. Next slide. Of course, we've seen The Simpsons, no? We've all seen the psychedelic toad. But in a way, taking the medicine, it's exercising the art of dying. Because toad medicine will free you from your physical bound form. So if constant exposures makes you good at it. In a way, we all contract, but then we learn to lose the fear of dying. And once you know what's on the other side and come back, you're like, whoa, it's stupid. We've been implanted with the fear of death since day one. But if we only knew. Anyway, these are all scientific stuff in which they have discovered that it binds to very specific brain receptors, producing anti-inflammatory effect, connecting both hemispheres and actually connecting the whole being. You got the reptilian brain, the paleomammalian brain, everything gets connected like never before. It's as if you've seen the movie Lucy. Yeah. Have you seen the movie? Yeah. It's pretty much like an analogy. This is using all of, may I dare to say 100% of our brain capacity? Because you're all connected. You can time travel, you can, connect with all living things. It's really amazing thing. What happens on the brain specifically? It acts, next, on very specific areas on the brain that are responsible, go back just one, just to let them know. These areas of the brain where the medicine really binds, the cerebral cortex, the hippocampus, the amygdala, the raffinucleus, the hypothalamus. Check this, the hypothalamus, connection to the endocrine system. The raffinucleus, mood, emotional learning, memory, cognition. So this is fascinating stuff. Next one. The effects. Scientifically, what happens when we take 5-MeO DMT? We're going to have enhanced our current mind state. Next. We can be in a mindfulness space. We can evocate conceptual thinking, thought connectivity, analysis enhancement, direct communication with the subconscious. This feeling of unity and interconnectedness. We might see color shifting, sacred geometry. I mean, if we're looking at that. But the whole effect is to completely dissolve the self, completely kill the ego, so we can experience the whole energetic picture. And thus, healing traumatic experiences, especially releasing so much blockages and residue patterns that we've been, carrying all our lives. This is a beautiful chance to expand fully into one's true energetic state, to perceive and experience the fundamental energetic unity of all things, life, consciousness, and to achieve personal clarity into one's true nature. And of course, be freed from all your personal, imaginary limitations and ego-produced perceptions and fears. Because at the end, we are victims of our own mind. And our mind is somehow keeping us in this bubble of comfort zone. So good.
Mercury retrograde.
Okay, so next, these are practically the effects. We go through ego death, complete self-dissolution to perceive the whole energetic nature, like I said. And sadly, what happens, I like a lot this image, because we take the medicine, there's this huge vortex, and we see the vortex, and then we start saying, no. And we see this guy who is fighting with all its energy and preventing to go down. He's like, no way. And he or she will, if it succumbs to its own fears, she will not let go. And that will be its experience, or her experience, of resisting, of saying no, and coming to the realization like, no, I'm good the way I am. I don't need to go through that hole. But if we trust the medicine, and we just surrender and let the medicine, woo, take us there, we're literally bungee jumping, base jumping, whatever you want to call it, into the heart of God. And that's where the true journey begins. Once we go through that hole, not before. And I've seen a lot of people who stay on that phase, resisting, contracting. It's all about surrendering. It's all about letting go. Anyway, and thus we're able to experience infinity, eternity. No other way. And we will see that it's within our grasp, it's within our hands, and it's inside us the whole time. No beautiful way to be freed from yourself, by your own self, without the imposition or of nobody else, you know. This is self-realization, and the medicine does the whole work by itself. You don't need a shaman to translate the medicine or the spiritual word into your reality. You don't need someone to interpret the experience. You will know, with every single atom, with every single cell, you will know the truth, the ultimate truth. And it's an awareness, it's an awakening process. If I were to classify the process itself, to reach the ultimate state of awareness, we have to go through these steps. First, awakening of the self, an eye-opening. Wow! Then, you realize that we've been carrying a whole bunch of shit and things that don't serve us any purpose. So we have to purify ourselves. We have to clean ourselves, clean our temples, so that the light can come in and shine beautifully as light beacons. Then we will reach that enlightenment state. Some people go through boom, boom, boom on the first take. Some people might dwell on this state for years. And some people will not see none of it. They won't see the light and they won't feel the love. Regardless of how much medicine I pump into their bloodstream, they won't be able to see it. And they will even fall victims of their own stupidity. Like, are you Satan? Are we part of this demonic ritual? And I'm like, what, bro? Anyway, it's only human, I know, but my job is to remind you, you know, like, hey, bro. Anyway, no other substance will give you this interconnectedness. And Matthew Palamary, which I had the honor of chatting with him, he wrote an interesting book called The Theory of Evolution. And it is through nature's, at the end it says that nature provides with the necessary means and tools for our own development. So he found out that we could synchronize the human cognition and achieve true healing by stimulating, activating, and affecting memories, attachment, and other psychodynamic processes of the brain. And only when they're all connected, you know, like, and work in unison, the instinctual, emotional, and intellectual centers will feel, think, and act simultaneously from a balanced point of power where fears are neutralized and experience shifts into insight, relatedness, and beauty. This is living wise medicine. There's no intention, no purpose, like, should I do something before? No, the medicine already knows. This is living wise medicine. So, I mean, and I'm not adding the anti-inflammatory, autoimmune regulating, antidepressant, the powerful antigenic properties, all these effects at the end. It is living wise medicine, and it's truly medicine. People say it's toad venom. No, it's toad medicine. Next one. So the experience itself. The importance of the experience is to have a sacred container. Because we can get polluted and contaminated by spiritual dark forces. I mean, there's a whole bunch of things that are happening now, and we need to act properly. So, of course, setting, dose, sitter, ceremony, mood, and of course, astrologically. They all gonna make a huge difference. You know, if we're not on the right mindset, it's gonna go wrong. If we're not in the proper setting, if we're in the rave party and someone wants to give you 5 minutes, no man, that's not a way. You know, and of course, who you're gonna do it with. That also affects so much the nature of the experience. If the sitter, if the facilitator is not clean, he will transmit you his darkness. He will transmit you all of his pollutants. So it is imperative that you know who to take the medicine with. And of course, sufficient dose. If the medicine is going to dissolve you completely, why would you want to have a half a dose? Or even less, a microdose? Why would I want to dissolve 1% of my ego? Makes no sense. You want a good dose, you know? You're not going to control any of it. So for all of us control freaks, this is one chance to be freed from
Any
us.
control freaks in the room? Any control freaks, raise your hand. Any control freaks? Some of y'all lying. Some liars, come on, man. Any control freaks in the room?
Good. So I tell people this is a chance for you to really just step back into the back seat and let the medicine take the wheel. No? Next one. Stages. Like, there's a threshold phase. You need to take the sufficient amount of medicine, hold it enough to pass that threshold phase. If don't, then you're not going to go where the medicine means to take you. Then, of course, if we pass the threshold phase, we reach that beautiful phase, that entheogenic phase, the end of the tunnel. And then, of course, after that, there's no more uphill. Everything after that, it's all downhill. You're slowly and gradually coming back into yourself in a very beautiful descending curve. And then there's the incorporating phase in which you're coming back into your body. Ego claims back its mind. And of course, integrating phase. People say I heard of a lot of people are having issues integrating the experience. And I've seen that these people are normally pushed towards the experience. You gotta try this. No, wait, they're not doing it by their own will. So the threshold phase, like I said, there has to be a proper intake to create that magnetic pool of light towards the source and achieve the total ego dissolution. The entheogenic phase. How do we know we reached it? Because we realize the oneness. We feel the unconditional love. We have a tantric experience. We feel, oh my God, like if every cell of us is having an orgasm at the same time. I mean it, nothing compares to that. And that's just unconditional love coming from source. Total interconnectedness with everything. Complete merging with source. The conceptual thinking, analysis enhancement, just like we said, full body liberation. And then, of course, the incorporating mode. There's no rush. I like to, leave them to be as most ergonomically and organically as possible. With its own time frame, you come back into your body. Next one. And then the imprinting phase. We, after having such a beautiful experience, we fall into a vulnerable space and we're so open and stuff, and people take advantage of this phase. They place themselves right there in front of the participants so that they know that it was me that did it. And it's not about me. It was never about me in the first place. So I remove myself from the equation, and you're not going to see me if you take the medicine. I'm behind you. I'm actually behind you, taking good care of you. But it's not about me. I've seen people who, their egos get so rich and powerful because they are the facilitators. And they place themselves in a way that once you open your eyes, the only thing you're going to see is them or their face. And you're so open and vulnerable that you're like, oh, wow, thank you. And it's not about that. That's awfully wrong. So, very important. Do not interfere and provide enough space and time. Okay, so in a graphic, this is what basically happens. Proper intake. This will be limited by cough. If you cough it, if you release the medicine prematurely, or instead of inhaling, if you swallow the smoke. There has to be a proper intake to reach that threshold. The threshold might go into a peak if we don't contract or if we don't resist, if we trust. Some people, I still don't know why, but instead of dissolving the ego, they take all that medicine and their ego becomes so powerful. And then they shift all that energy into dissolving into, they become superego. And they think they are the Godhead. And they even tell me, kneel! Kneel before me. And I'm like, whoa! Okay. Anyway, this is what I've seen. This is what I'm here to share. Once we reach the peak state, that becomes entheogenic or healing, depending on the path. If we need to do some healing, if the medicine needs to do some healing and we deserve the healing, it'll take us this way. And we will see some vomiting, all of this nasty stuff coming out of your body, crying, spitting. But if we're pure enough, we reach that entheogenic phase. And it will prevail into a divine message, because the medicine is God, the universe, is always talking to us. But we have such a loud inner voice that we don't allow nature or the universe to deliver the message. So if we allow it, if we're not in pursuit of the visuals and colors and pink elephants and ecstasy, we will reach that divine message. And then, of course, downhill curve, reincorporating to assimilate, and then finally integrate. So just a few shots of my work around the world. Proper setting. Have the right people so that you can fully trust and let go. I mean, they're beautiful. These pictures say so much. And this is a full release brother. Anyway, this is a whole family. They brought the whole family, wife, husband, and son. They're all witnessing each other's beautiful ceremony.
We call this the launch pad, and so for anyone who is going tomorrow, we just ask you that you keep your hands and feet inside the vehicle. This is your vehicle, this is your launch pad. The whole, see how the lady got her arms spread out over there and stuff? Like she's still inside the vehicle. See how my man right here? He just utilizing all the vehicle. Got all the vehicle. All this is you over here. This is not you over here. Okay? Stay inside the vehicle. If we ask you to please, return back to your seat, that's what we want you to do. Just really just lay back down. That's all. See this right here? This is great. This is what we're looking for on Bufo Airlines. Stay right here. That's what we're doing. And the space that we have available for anybody that's coming tomorrow is crazy. Like, just the house itself, the energy is amazing. It sits on 7 acres, but then the room itself is like so feng shuied out. How they have like, you can't even see the ceiling, but they have these just long silk things just running across the top, and it's just crazy comfortable, yo. So we have an amazing setting for you to go in and come back out and be like really, really comfortable. Oh, for those of you who are watching the videos before you came here tonight, we don't do anything standing up. See all the people prone, lay down. We don't stand up and, oh, you need to look at the sun and yada, yada, yada. To me, I'm gonna just tell you from my particular experience, that's some real bullshit. That's some real ego of, I want you to do it the way I'm trying to impose it on it, because it's still the Wild Wild West was these entheogens, and there's no governing body. It's just the integrity of the person. So if a person really wants to get out there and put you in this vulnerable state and then say, hey, that was me, I was the one holding you up, but your body totally dissolved. Why the hell you got me standing up? I can't feel nothing. I don't care what you are either. I don't care if you're a strong man or anything, Navy SEAL, whatever. This is the position right here for you to get all the way into God. And what I want, another reason why I even brought Gerry, I'm sorry I'm interrupting, but you know what I'm saying? I said that in Tantra, a lot of you women know, women say, oh, we hold everything in our womb. Brothers, have you heard the women talking about their womb? If you're a brother, raise your hand. If you've heard the women talking about their womb. You heard women talking about their womb? Their womb, their reproductive organs, right? Like, oh, got all this trauma down here. But the ladies don't know where we hold trauma. See, we don't have a womb. We hold our trauma in our heart. So the relationships are so jacked up because you got to get past this breastbone. So if there's a man beside you, tap him on the chest. Go ahead, you tap him on the chest. Tap somebody on the chest. Tap. You ladies tap the brother on the chest. Tap him in the middle of the chest. We don't want other brothers tapping us in the chest. So we don't do that. But look where his hands naturally are at. This heart, it just when it said it's dissolving all this space, or this love can go in there, because love needs to heal the heart. But it's so tough for a woman. I don't know how to get to him. Yeah, he's so unreachable because he has so much trauma. And this is a natural breastplate that God gave man to stop, for defense mechanisms. We out here giving war, you know what I'm saying? He lets y'all's hips expand so the baby can come out. Our hips don't expand like that, so we don't get pregnant. We got broke mammary glands. We can't breastfeed. See what I'm saying? But this medicine right here, today was my 69th ceremony I witnessed, and 90% of the men that I've seen of all races, their hands at one point in that 20 to 30 minutes come to their hearts. And you can see them almost doing surgery on themselves. It's just like, where did this come from? It's just so new to you, you just don't even want to touch it. And I experienced that myself. And so for women, it doesn't compromise with your trauma. That's what I say for y'all. Women, y'all such negotiators. oh, this is the reason why I'm holding it. Subconsciously, you have all these. You go into the little goddess group and say, oh, I want to get rid of it all. I want to get rid of it all. But then when it comes time for the work to get done, you got all kind of reasons in the subconscious why you hold back. Like the little man, that's a woman too. That's don't want to go slide down the hole. With the toad, there's no compromising. So for all the sisters in Atlanta and all the sisters that I have seen in all these groups that come out and you still ain't healing men. You still ain't healing men. You still went in there and you still going back. You hopping from group to group to group to group. It's like you hopping from MLM to MLM to MLM. You still ain't got it yet. Why you ain't got your money yet? Unless you at the top, unless you starting them. And so, but I say, man, in Atlanta, I'm tired of all the compromises and the arguing. You put this total in your system, you're going to get some of this right here, some heart healing. And so that's why I like the ladies should be encouraging a brother to come, because now in his integration process, he's going to know who's good for him and who really ain't good for him. Because a lot of times, brothers, you get in a situation when you stay too long in a situation and it's really not good for you. Or you got these reasons that you're staying that are really stupid, not illogical, stupid, you know what I'm saying? But this is reality, you know what I'm saying? And we always talk about healing the heart space. So I definitely respect the womb because I come from them and I love them, every aspect of them. But we men don't have an agent of healing like this that's operating out here right now. There is no feminine group that's saying all we're going to do is when we finish our training, we're going to go heal him, we're going to go heal him, we're going to go heal him. It's not happening. We the goddess gang and we gang. What is it? It's a hot girl summer. You know what I'm saying? But after you finish and then get to a cold winter, is the hot girls going to go and say, well, let me go over here and take care of these? No. It's just, that's fine. And I want the women to have value in themselves and self-esteem and all of that. But you have all the self-esteem you want. If your partner heart is closed down, you fucked. You fucked. Because you got these good soldiers out here. You got these men out here who really want to do something, who got scarred before. And the ladies be like, man, I ain't messing with him because he got all that baggage. Toad is a baggage cutter. You talking about releasing stuff? It's right here, man. This right here is just an amazing sight. And then when you can feel this connection right here afterwards. We don't let this happen to way at the end right here for touching somebody, because we're not trying to rush to you. So when somebody screams, we just like this right here. Somebody went today and screamed, and the man was like, I should have shut both doors. He shut one door, he left the other door open. He was upstairs in his house. And he was like, I'm going next. And he was like, man, shit, I don't know. He was like, is y'all down there damn jumping her, or is she getting damn attacked or something? Or whatever, because it wasn't no play baby scream or nothing like that right there. You know what I'm saying? It was like all this releasing, and we was distance. And then even when I came back out, I was like, man, was y'all right over me? He was like, it was like, bro, when nobody nowhere like 5 or 6 feet from you. Then when I came upstairs, everybody was looking at me crazy, right? And I was like, what are y'all doing? Because we was at Calenda's house. I just hugged him and I was like, thank you. And I was like, why y'all looking at me like that? It was like, nigga, you know Tai Chi and martial arts and all that. But you were screaming like a girl down there. Like everybody got quiet when we heard you scream. That nigga was screaming. That nigga was screaming. So, but I don't remember me screaming. You know what I'm saying? At that point. You know what I'm saying? That end part about integration and what the divine message was, and I was about to say something, and it was like, you talk a lot. Why you got to share that with everybody? This is for you. And I was like, oh shit. Yeah. So a part of it was stop spoiling people's surprise. That was a part of my divine message. I be trying to make things so easy for people, and it was just like, stop spoiling people's surprise. So even this entire lecture and stuff, and all the Q&A that y'all getting ready to ask, all the stuff I'm gonna say, I'm still holding back. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you gonna hold back? Because you should have your own experience. I'm not gonna spoil your experience. And like I said, today I was my 69th person, and I have not seen 2 experiences that are the same yet. Including one clown experience where a dude coughed the medicine and tried to fake it. That was really crazy. That was the most dumbest.
You needed that for sure.
That was the dumbest part. You know what I'm saying? He coughed, and then he tried to pretend that he still had enough gas in the tank. And then he laid there and nothing was happening. And so me and Gerry was like, Right? And then all of a sudden he was just like, ah. Ah! Whoa! I was like, bro, you ain't do nothing. You ain't do nothing. You got some water in the tank, not even gas. You know what I'm saying? And then we had one Jesus freak. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, Jesus is a strong medicine. And he was just cool and laying there. We thought it was going to be in a Buddha state and just lay there and take the medicine and just chill. So I was like, Jeff, I'm going around here, check on somebody, go to the bathroom. I left real quick. You know, I stopped talking land for a second. Woo, woo, woo. I said, let me go back in here. I was going like 180 seconds. Came back, and this joker was just walking around the room. Jesus, the pastors, He was like, he was snitching on the church, but he still wanted to represent Jesus. He was saying how dirty the pastors was, and how he played and stuff. And he was profusely sweating, and Gerry was on the floor like, please come in, please come in, please come in. Because he had already knocked Gerry down one time, and Gerry was like, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? He's going to you know, and so that was a real, he wasn't doing this. Remember what we said? Please keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle. So when I came in, I said, bro, I thought we had a deal. Listen to me. For what? Listen to me. So that right there, I've only seen one of those. I never want to see anyone again. Any Jesus freaks in here? Okay, good. All right. So even if you don't go this weekend, when I bring Gerry back in January, just stay away from Jesus, okay? Leave the wife, okay? Now, all right. You see? Relax, release, and allow.
That's my advice, guys. Like that, in a nutshell, that's my advice for you guys. Just relax, release, and allow. Focus on those 3 words, you'll have an amazing experience. That's that. We're literally dissolving the ego. We're experiencing death. That's called the non-dual state. You're beyond right and wrong, black and white. Beyond that, you're directly to source.
You'll never leave this.
Next one. Ceremonies. Why do I work in the ceremony space, even though I'm a doctor and scientist? Because I acknowledge the spiritual world. And of course, this is sacred work. My job is to ensure that safety and beneficial process, minimize difficulties, honor the trust you placed in me without influencing nor interfering. That is the way I work, at least. Of course, always in a ceremony and, you know, through acquired experiences. 14 years now working with this medicine. Over 7,000 ceremonies around the world in 39 countries. So, this is the secret. This is my secret. Work with great tact and compassion. Intuition, support, education, medical supervision, presence, consistency, attentiveness, loving kindness, and firmness. Toad medicine ceremony. This is how. What is a toad medicine ceremony? We basically give the introduction, dynamics, how we're going to work. If you have any questions and answer, then we proceed to the blessing of the space. There's always a candlelight present. We smudge the place. We smudge every person that's going to be on that room, and then we do an opening prayer, and then of course we give the intake of the sacrament to reach that antigenic state in which we basically hold that sacred space, like I said, and of course helping the integration of the process. Integration, you know, like, because yeah, something happened. No, definitely something happened before and after. So if you're having issues coming back into this reality, a lot of people are like, whoa, after such an experience, I don't know if I want to go to my old job, or I don't know if I want to go home with my wife. Like, they come into this like, now what should I do? Because at the end, it won't matter what I do. So some integrating methods, or even few percentage of people, they take that they hit that pipe and then they're full on, and then they think they're still there and they're afraid even to go back to sleep because Toad will show them death, and they're just stupefied and so fearful. And they call me like, Gerry, like I can't sleep, it's been 1 week, I don't dare to close my eyes because I'm afraid that I'm gonna die. And I'm like, dude, let go, surrender. And at the end, these are just a few advices that help you to ground yourself or to integrate the experience. Grounding foods, such as meat, tomatoes, and all these tubercles that were underground. They helped us to ground ourselves. Certain acupuncture spots to ground and not to produce the contrary effect. The exchange of hot and cold baths, that's also a grounding exercise. Move! We're so lazy nowadays. Everything at our fingertips. Phone, Man, go and take 3 laps to the block with awful, and I'm sure you're gonna have a very beautiful night's sleep. Anyway, some people, they just want to be touched and be held. Or even more, they just want someone to listen. You know, hold that space. We can lean on remedies such as herbal supplements and sleep remedies, and hardly end up in taking a sedative or going into psychotherapy. So, thank you.
So now we're at the Q&A section. So I'm gonna ask the first question. So y'all just get ready. We just throw questions. So what happened when you gave Mike Tyson the toad? Because he did give Mike Tyson the toad back in January of this year.
Oh boy, yeah, that was intense.
I hope he wasn't swinging.
There's some great
I was
videos
like
from
this.
YouTube about
Hi Mike, I'm Gerry. Yeah, I was scared, of course, because I knew the guy had a whole bunch of pain, and then, like Mike Tyson, when I met him, I was told that we had to meet him before 1 p.m. because after 1 p.m. he takes so much drugs and pills and stuff that he numbs himself, and he's incapable of having a conversation and stuff. So by 1 p.m. they removed Mike Tyson from his office. So his business partner has a son who was dealing with drug addiction, and he heard about my work. I got the chance to share the medicine with him and cure him. So his business partner shared the experience, like, hey Mike, are you willing to try medicine, to help a lot my kid and stuff? And Mike, he was like, yeah, sure, why not? So they hooked me up, and the last thing I know, I'm standing in front of Mike Tyson, ready to hit that pipe, and it was beautiful to see such an ego as Mike Tyson fighting itself. Like I gave him the medicine, and he's like, whoa, I'm dying. And then he just looks at me and says, stop, now, stop it. And I'm like, no, Mike, let go, I can't stop it. And he's like, don't you know who I am? Don't you know what I can do to you? And he starts, and I'm just like, whoa. So I'm going around the room with Mike, and thank God the medicine fully dissolved his ego. So he was like, and he just, falls. And then he has the experience. He has that singularity. He realizes so much. He comes back crying and, oh my God. Like, it was just amazing to see it. Like, that huge transformation. He released a whole bunch of demons, a whole bunch of pain and hatred that he had deep core. He was just free from it. And once he was freed from all that stuff, you could see that Mike Tyson is a beautiful man, such humble. He jokes with dudes, with brothers. He's always trying to hit you, not with full strength, but just as a boxing thing. That after the toad, he just grabbed my cheeks and kissed me on the mouth. Dr. fucking Gerry. And I'm like, oh, so they were like, Mike, would you like to go again? Yeah, let's do that. He hit the pipe 3 times. He had 3 experiences on the first day. Wow. Amazing. You can clearly see Mike before the toad and after the toad. You can listen to him, and his voice, there's something about his voice that he really went through a very deep and powerful transformation. The guy has now lost a whole bunch of weight. He does yoga, he meditates, he's a spiritual person. Yeah.
No more cocaine.
No more cocaine, no more antipsychotic drugs. He had schizophrenic attacks. He suddenly saw people that were not in the room, demons and stuff. All of that. It's drug free.
How were his second and third?
Well, I've seen he has done, at least 6-7 times the toad after his first one, and now he just surrenders.
He does.
Beautiful. And I mean, the work that he has done in this year, it's been like monumental, honestly. Like, he would fight it, second, third time, his ego would convince him that he needed to fight his way out of it. or he would just resist it, like, no, I'm dying, no, and then I'm God, you know, like dwelling into this, and then clearly seeing how the medicine rewired his brain into a mode that now he sees clarity. There's no hallucinations or no, he knows, and now you can see him, and he's
on these hot boxings, 70% of them, he'll just be asking them about stuff. Hey, Snoop Dogg, what's up, Meta World Peace? He'll be talking, and he'll just stop and he'll just interrupt and say, have you tried the toad? Have you tried the toad? Tell him about the toad. So I tried the toad, you know what I'm saying? And for me, with somebody that powerful and everybody knows how he is and seen the transformation, I lost a whole bunch of respect for Snoop Dogg, Exhibit, Wiz Khalifa, and LL Cool J, especially, who tried to start turning it into a joke when he was really being very serious. And you can, like, it's right there. And he was trying to educate them and share with the brothers.
Snoop Dogg, chicken eye.
Yeah, chicken shit.
Like, I'm good, Gerry. I don't think I need that. And we're like, what? And Mike Tyson says, I'll have his 5 minutes.
But this guy, where is he? The Greek billionaire. That's the one you want to watch. Watch the tomfoolery and watch the Greek billionaire. He's a little over the top, but watch how him and Mike hold conversation, and watch the spiritual levels and the stuff coming out his mouth, and you'll just be like, who the hell is that? And you'll be like, oh, that's that toad. That's that toad right there. Because that's why I put spiritual experience, because we're looking, enlightenment means to lighten up. And we supposed to lighten up. We take shit way too serious. You know what I'm saying? Heavy. And a part of it is when we get back from the toad, we start asking agenda type questions. How long was I gone? The fuck does it matter? What do you remember? Oh, well, my body's too small to hold all this universe. The stuff I saw was yada, yada, yada. Yes, sir.
I just had a total question.
Sure.
So that's if the toad is being attacked, you mean they spray this?
No, but if a predator attacks it,
on a trip.
it'll bite the gland. The medicine, well, at the end, the medicine, if it touches any mucous membranes, say nose, eyes, nose, and mouth, it'll burn like acid. So of course, I don't think it'll put them onto that state. We even seen dogs who like attack these toads, and they come like, yeah, they get intoxicated rather than tripping. This is not active edible. You have to vaporize it. Yes.
So I worked with like DMT,
Right.
extracted from
Acacia
mimosa. In comparison, like
It's a whole new ball game.
oh, just different ball game. I mean, because I know, I understand chemically compound wise.
Right. Even though it contains DMT letters on the 5-MeO DMT, has nothing to do with NN-DMT.
But
NN-DMT is a visual experience.
Yes,
It depends on, you know, the visuals, the fractals and colors, a lot of beautiful colors. With toad, you don't see anything.
okay,
There's
well,
no visuals,
right.
feel.
So
So-
when I've done NN-DMT, I guess they would call it changa.
Yeah.
Combining M
With an herbal blend to make it smoother to the airways.
Yeah, MOA, but I've had an ego depth experience with
With
that.
Changa.
Yeah.
Well, if I might,
Sure.
I am very into this. I've done DMT about 20,000 times,
Yeah.
and I actually extract it myself, and I use it daily. And I've done the toad 40 or 50 times, but they're totally different experiences. Whereas in DMT is the spirit molecule, because it opens the pathway or the portal so that you can see the beings that exist in the other dimensions. Whereas with the toad, I've never seen anything. It's a feeling. It's a powerful experience, but it's all happening in a dark space, not in a dark negative. It's full of love,
Just
but
absence
it's
of colors.
yes. But there was no visuals with regular DMT. The first time I did it, I did my own extraction, and I took the 3 hits because you need to take at least 3. I closed my eyes, and the first thing that happened is I heard a voice, a male voice up here, and it said, "This is what happens when you die." And I said, "Yes," because this was what I'd been looking for 6 years. This is 2010. I had 2 near-death experiences. I had a MRSA infection, and I died twice, and went to heaven, and it's all for real. And I was really bummed I got sent back into that painful body. But I was told by an angel that to me looked like a 14-year-old boy who had dark hair, wings, the whole angel look, but he had dark hair. And he pushed me on my chest and said, "Do you have a mission?" And I was arguing because I wanted to go. I could see heaven right there. And it is. There are golden paved roads. There are many mansions. The buildings are crystal. It's unbelievable. But he said, "No, you have to go back." And he would push me on my chest, and I'd immediately be back in my body, which was riddled with pain beyond comprehension. And that went on for 8.5 months. And afterwards, I had a talk with God. I said, "Why the pain? Why did the pain have to be so severe?" And he said, "I needed to get your attention. I had to quiet your mind. I had something to tell you." And I didn't know what that was until 2 years later, when I was thumped on my head, and while I was sitting at my desk, and a voice said, "Click on Amazon," and I did, and without searching anything, a book popped up called The Spirit Molecule by Dr. Rick Strassman. And I ordered it, read it, was fascinated, and so I learned how to do the extractions. And since then, I've worked with 1,800 people, mostly drug addicts, and we've had 100% success rate.
100%.
100%.
I work with it, sir. I smoke it quite often myself, so that's why I'm trying to.
But it's a totally,
understanding.
it's a different animal.
My street definition is DMT is the mayor of Los Angeles. Mayor of Los Angeles has a lot of power because the police force in Los Angeles is like a little army. 5 MEO DMT is like the king of the universe, or at least this galaxy. So if every planet had a president, they would have to report to 5 MEO. But you really, everything we saying ain't gonna do nothing until you touch it. That's
I
all.
mean, I'm not listening to that. I'm just trying chemically, compound wise, because I understand.
Oh, hold on.
Compound wise.
Yeah, but if we go to chemical compound, we'll lose the rest of the audience.
I was asking for my personal
Okay.
to Dr. Gerry, not the rest of the audience. He said we had questions for Dr. Gerry.
Yes.
Right. And I want
So question, so is this substance the same substance that's secreted by the pineal gland? When you do your Mudras or like
No.
Kundalini, like that's is it the same experience?
5 MEO DMT.
It's not proven that the pineal gland secretes or produces 5-MeO DMT. It's not proven, like till this day. It's a theory that the pineal gland pumps high doses of DMT or 5-MeO DMT at the
We can
moment
produce it, right?
of death. Yeah. No, it's actually like they've discovered that it's actually produced on the lung tissue, and from the lung it goes to the brain. So, I mean, yeah, we're still in diapers, like I say. There's a lot that's going to be revealed and discovered in the upcoming months.
But the NMDMT is what's endogenous to all life. When you take it in the form of ayahuasca, which is the drinkable form, you have to combine plants because of an enzyme that's in your gut that will neutralize DMT on contact. If we didn't have it, every time you ate a salad, you would have a DMT trip because it's in all living things. But the pineal gland looks like a pine cone. And in fact, the largest statue at the Vatican is of the pineal gland. And it's on the Pope's staff, and it's all throughout ancient records from Samaria and all the rest. And science has determined that it produces serotonin, melatonin, and DMT. And that's why you dream, is the DMT. And that's what a DMT journey is much like, a dream, a very real dream. It's much more real than this. When you come back, you're like, wow, this is really dull.
You know, mushrooms is one level. They said DMT. I'm not done DMT. I grew my own mushrooms, so I know that experience.
But mushrooms are a DMT form as well.
Yeah, and I'm a clean guy too, so it's like, but I ain't get to that level yet, where you, so.
What dose you on right now?
I was, 15. I wasn't doing the 30s like he said, because I was doing it by myself.
Yeah, it's funny. A friend of mine, he grows his own mushrooms and he microdoses.
Right.
And he takes 3 milligrams. And there's a purpose for it. It's helpful for depression and things. But I said, but you've never done mushrooms. You got to take an ounce.
Gotta go.
And that's to feel mushrooms. But microdosing, I think, is a wonderful thing that needs to be explored. It has great potential. But if you want to have a psilocybin experience, you've got to take an ounce of mushroom. It's like with DMT. You've got to take those 3 hits. I often, in my facilitations, the person will take, because what happens is you take the first hit, you hold it as long as you can, at least 30 seconds. Let it out, and you're going to be really relaxed. And you take the second one, and then it's like, wow.
Hyper all comes
It's
on.
like, and a lot of people stop there,
Yep.
and I can time it. Because in 6.5 minutes, they're going to open their eyes and say, damn it, I should have took that 3rd hit. Can we do it again? And I'm like, yes, but if you just done it the first time. But I use it, I have a real high tolerance, so it takes 6 or 8 for me, at least. But sometimes I can get there on 3. I think it's just the depth of the toke and how long I've held it and the rest.
Y'all catch him on the side because we got a few more minutes before we got to be out of here.
Oh, okay.
So tomorrow, let's say somebody's coming to do toad, or let's say they're not coming, but they're going to do toad somewhere else, another facilitator. What are the do nots before you take toad?
Well, you
Food wise.
yeah, definitely. You don't want to eat, or you don't want to have food or drinks, any kind of fluids in your body 4 hours at least to the intake of the medicine. This will prevent nausea, vomiting, and of course a medical complication of vomit going into your lungs. So please abstain yourself from having even a sip of water. That can make a whole drastic difference. Just acknowledge it, that you're going to go through a very powerful experience, and it deserves respect. Prepare your body in that way.
Can I smoke some weed?
So there is a direct relationship between the level of relaxation and surrendering and having the experience. So you have sativa strains and indica strains. I've seen that sativa strains tend to synergize the toad. You will have a much powerful experience, while indica strains will relax you more and will allow the medicine to take full effect. So that means you're good to go. Yes, you can smoke weed before or after the toad.
But you don't need to.
Yeah, but if it helps you to be more relaxed, then do it.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
I just kind of came here on a whim.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell me, is there going to be more information given about tomorrow if I wanted to do it?
So I think we have 1 spot left for tomorrow on Saturday, and we have 3 spaces open, maybe 2 spaces open on Sunday. And so we're not going to be here. We're going to be in Lilburn, and only if you're going to ceremony, you'll get the address. Ceremony is not like an ayahuasca circle. So if everybody here was doing it, it would take hour, or maybe 45 minutes, 40. We don't all go at one time. One ceremony.
We're all individuals.
One person is one ceremony.
One-on-one.
Right. So that's why we got some people coming at 3 o'clock, because you don't have to be there all day. You know what I'm saying? So if you got a 3 o'clock appointment, come at 2 o'clock. But that also means your last meal is at 10:30, 11. So we do have some spots available. So see me and Dr. Gerry if somebody wants to. But this is Atlanta, y'all. This is the home of the last minute. Because it's been on the website for like 6 weeks to go and say, hey, I want to do this. I forgot this cable, and I went home to get it, and somebody called me talking about trying to get some information. This evening. And they in North Carolina. Well, can you give me some information? Like, can you talk to me a little bit? Only way you can talk to me, right? Like, you have to go out, I'm in the car. And Yes, this Joe Rogan interview, Joe Rogan is trying to get him to talk about boxing and the state of boxing and stuff, and in 27 minutes, he just takes over and goes into Toad. So this is probably my second or third favorite video, where you can see, this is like about 3 months after he had experienced the Toad. The Toad will normally visit you within 72 hours in your sleep, around 3 o'clock in the morning. It's gonna come back through. Not with the same intensity, but it's gonna come back and be like, remember me? That was real what happened. You know what I'm saying? We back. How you doing? Your first 30 days for me was just like just all bliss every day, in and out, sleep, opening up, all of that. It's just like a whole bunch of mushrooms really fast. You know what I'm saying? Really, really fast. Mushrooms takes you like, you ease up, like on the, what do you call it, on the roller coaster? Yeah, this right here is like, remember the part where you go straight down? You start there. Remember you going up, sideways, you just go right to that. You know what I'm saying? So some people are like, your subconscious, because you in this room and your conscious mind is like, and Hershey thinks it's an accident. It's like, I need to hear about this, I need to hear about this. But your conscious mind, which is like a teaspoon of water, is really mad right now because it knows it's going to lose control. Your mind is what's limiting you, like you said, from that other reality that's much more engaging than this. These answers that we're looking for on this particular side, you probably ain't gonna never get. That's why these medicines are outlawed in some places. You see, because why did they have all these sciences from ancient Aztec culture, Egyptian culture, the Moors, the Chinese, the Druids? Because they had plant medicine. They was like, we're going in. We're going to draw star constellations. And then we're going to walk around and look normal during the day. We're going to go over here in a dark room, and then we're going to make it pop. So the healing factor for me is the first part. Because some people are going to resist, because we've been resisting. I've been in so many groups that always see resistance from male and female. And this right here is such an uncompromising, doesn't really give a fuck about how you feel and all of that. But if you've been doing your work and you're a meditator and you've been breathing right and stuff like that, you ain't gonna have that type of reaction, you know? But if you've already been watching YouTube videos, and remember, what's the song? Do anything for clout. Do anything for clout. People who got these things on YouTube, they want you to see something really crazy as hell, so you'll watch it, they can get more views, so they can get a check. But yeah, it's been some wild stuff, but that's been the minority of things that I have seen. But on the backside, the joy and the bliss of everybody. Because the thing about the Toad, it meets you where you at, honestly. So you can fool your mama, you can fool your daddy, you can fool the person that you had sex with this morning. But you ain't gonna never be able to fool this, because this venom is sitting up on the ground for 9 months. It's waiting in this jungle. It's prepared. It's in there training for your ass to go in there and meet you and set you free and get you where you want to go. You know, and it's gonna take you, really gonna take you as far like as you really capable, because you don't know how capable you are. You ain't never been pushed this round.
I'll be able to go to work on Monday, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's over.
You don't even be able to.
It seems like you're there for hours, but it's just a few minutes.
Yeah, it's just,
And we just ask that you don't drive 1 hour after your session. So when you finish, chill out.
Do you videotape? Yes.
If you want to videotape your session, yes.
Right.
But if you come in,
But there's nothing to
Warning,
see.
there's no relationship of what you're going to see on the video
Yeah.
with what you're going to
Right, I just, like.
I've got a whole
so
bunch
when
of
you come back from
videos
the
I
trip,
don't
you're gonna see what you look like on this trip, right?
You just look like you're laying there asleep.
but you might not. That's if you laying still.
yeah, sometimes.
Right.
Well, I've never been able to move.
yourself, my brother.
I've never been able to move after taking the dope. I mean, it's like,
Is that when you're like gone? Because you were saying how Mike Tyson was, like, you know,
Oh.
like, you could see.
Yeah, but this was before his ego dissolved.
Okay,
Like, you take the medicine and you have, what, a few seconds,
maybe 3 seconds.
to me, I bring.
Depends on how much you're resisting as well.
Yeah,
If
well,
it's more, you have more
My
time.
thing is, like, when I did it the first couple of times with Dr. Gerry, I'm into the psychedelic aspect, so I wanted to keep my eyes open to see the psychedelic effect. Well, after 3 seconds, there's no way. I mean, it's, you're laying back.
Okay, so you can't see your surrounding, I can't see, you know.
Not initially. So for me, I break things up into fifths. Nothing, to me, I've never seen nothing last more than 4 minutes. So if it's 20 minutes, that's 4 times 5. So that first phase, I seen somebody that might last for 30 seconds or it might last 4 minutes. But you just not seeing anything. Cause I was like seeing people like come up and I'm like, me and Gerry are behind you. And they just look directly at me.
You're going in and out.
Now you out. But your eyes are open. Your eyes were
But
open.
it's you surrendering.
Yeah, and I'm making eye contact with you, you know, and then you just go to do something else, and then afterwards we say, so what do you remember? And then you tell us, and I said, you remember looking at me? He was like, what do you mean? I thought nobody was here. I was like, well, no, but I don't say that no more. I don't tell you what you were doing unless you kind of ask me a little bit, you know.
I'll tell you, the first time I did it with Dr. Gerry down in Florida, when I did come back and I opened my eyes, I was surrounded by 12 angels, 12 seraphim angels. They were like in the positions of the hands of a clock. There were 12 of them, and they were all facing me in a prayerful position on their knees. And for a few minutes, they were there, and before they sort of evaporated and the room kind of came back together. But it was the most beautiful, welcoming, because the space is nothing but pure, unadulterated love. And it's very familiar. The second time I did the DMT, as I was coming back into the body, which is one of the more enjoyable parts, it's so relaxing, but I said, God, that place is so familiar. I've been there before. Those beings, I know them, they knew me. There's a bunch of them. They're in all different types. There are these little gnomes. There's fairies. There's angels. There's praying mantis looking things that seem to be doctors. They seem to, I've never had them perform the surgery on me, but people report having a surgery performed by what looks like a praying mantis. I have seen the praying mantises.
One I've encountered is like I guess you would say animal humanoid type.
Ladies and gentlemen, these are what we call psychonauts. Listen, oh, sorry, if you go another one, I'm one. You know what I'm saying? And like, it's better to have this ability where you can go when you want and come back, than to not have this ability because he can't be manipulated. He can't be manipulated. He can't be manipulated. Once you become a psychonaut, you know already saying reality. You know you call bullshit so much.
Oh,
and,
yes.
And I want to tell people, like, when people say psychonaut, it's not a person who just like really likes to get high. It's just like an astronaut. It's a person who explores and the trans-dimensional space.
That's right.
Thank you, brother.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly
Like,
right.
we actually put ourselves in our own vehicles and explore these trans-dimensional spaces,
Yes.
not just the physical spaces. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, I don't, you know.
And it's all right here.
Yeah, I don't like people.
They're right here.
Right.
It's
right
just
here.
a question of crossing the membrane.
Yeah.
yes, sir.
I got a question about the microdosing. I know people microdose LSD because they're in tech space and they're creatives, and I'm in that space too, so I do a lot of creative work. What have you seen in people in those spaces that
Let me translate your question.
Oh,
What happened when the people that who got iPhones in here? Who got an iPhone or Android? It's everybody, right? Are the people who make Apples and Androids, are they doing toad?
yeah.
What they say?
No, I mean,
It's
definitely, it's a,
massive creativity in front of
yeah, it's
Silicon
a
Valley is
drastic,
pretty much ran by psychedelics.
a lot of the, I mean, we're gonna see a whole bunch of new gadgets that were envisioned due to the toad or to the DMT or to the LSD experience. I've had the honor of sharing to Apple CEOs, Google CEOs, the medicine and huge potential.
They said everybody's phone is gonna be junk in 5 years. Everybody's phone. It don't matter what you got, whatever. It's gonna be junk. It's gonna be a paperweight. So yeah, your creativity will definitely, and your sequence of events will start getting
your
real
psychic abilities will be reawakened. You'll start to. I find that when I take ketamine with DMT and have a conversation, I will know what the person is going to say right before they say it.
Right, because
It's like creates a time warp.
even citizens before I guess the compounds, they translated or called it telepathy.
Telepathy,
Yeah, telepathy was the actual chemical substance it was called before that. So.
Where it was heavy?
No, DMT
DMT
was called telepathy.
Yeah, telepathy. So they identified as telepathy before DMT, so it does enhance your telepathic ability.
I'll make this
Real
announcement.
time.
I'll make this announcement real quick because we gotta get ready to go, but I'm gonna take your question. So when I got this space, because I really like it, Nina was like, what you gonna do next? I was like, I don't really know because we didn't need a space right now and he going back to Mexico. So I was like, we need to get this here, get it recorded, you know what I mean? Because he's never done this. When last time you did a PowerPoint presentation?
2 years ago.
2 years ago. So all the places he goes, he just talks. He's never shown anybody this in 2 years but us. But sitting here listening, he's in, where you at? Duluth? No.
Yeah.
He's in Duluth. He around the corner.
I'm in Decatur.
He's in Decatur. I'm over here off of Cascade. So we're gonna do something else. But it's gonna be with just, you know, the local phenoms. You know what I'm saying? Because he's still a phenom. He's still a phenom. I'm a young phenom at their feet. But we had the Pooh Bear. You know what I'm saying? We had an opportunity for the Grand Poobah to come through. It's Grand Poobah, my fault. Not just Pooh Bear. So
Anybody's interested in trying the sacred mushrooms from Oaxaca, my dear brother, Coach K, brought a whole bunch in honey, magic honey from Mexico. So, because the mushroom season is now over, and there won't be any magic till May, June next year.
My question was DMT, like they people who I've seen talk to ayahuasca, it was late, it was a female energy that came through. It's a DMT, and when I did, I heard my mushrooms, it was like, I don't know, somebody I knew who told me, in my dreams who told me, get over that stuff, props. It's really, like, if you deal with something that goes there, is DMT like, is it a personality that comes to you?
But DMT, yeah, because you gotta be specific. DMT and 5-MeO.
The toad, and they just
5-MeO DMT doesn't have an entity. It's not male or female. It's non-dual. It's source.
It's a feeling.
It's where male and female come from. So
Right.
it's taken. Yeah.
It's a feeling.
Yes, ma'am.
Can I have a picture with Dr. Gerry?
Oh, he gonna be taking selfies. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. So we're getting ready to break down. But so if you are in the mushroom game and you like some honey infused with the magic mushrooms from Oaxaca, see me. Oh, pause. Yeah, tonight. Now, then if you right, and if you don't want the honey infused, see him. And if you don't want it tonight, get his number, right? Then my cannabis smokers. You gotta confess.
CBD.
CBD.
I also have NMDMT as well.
CBDs. We have the hemp pre-rolls right over here. Some really, really smooth stuff over here to really relax you out. This brother, when everybody stand up, it's gonna be the tallest brother in the room. Okay? Because ain't nobody here. There's only 1 7-footer in here. All right. So when you get up, if you're looking for some nice pre-roll, smokable hemp, and you want to know anything about hemp, if you got some land somewhere that you are for real, and you want to be a farmer, hello, I do not know anybody in the room that is on the folks like this joker is right here. So if it's the hemp game on CBD, go to the tall person. If it's NMDMT or the dehydrated mushrooms, see this guy. DMT, see this guy. Pictures with Dr. Gerry and honey, see me. And if you want to rent this space, see Nina. Or if you want to get your nails done, you want to get your feet done. No.
I gotta say,
Put your hand down.
I do everything, man. I can't hustle.
Not today, son. You're right.
See how they recruited me though.
So wait, so let's everybody stand up real quick. We're gonna give Gerry a prearranged. Okay, now wait. Now everybody sit down real quick because I want him to take a selfie with the whole crowd. You know what I'm saying? Because here's the other thing too. I'm just gonna be real. He said the king sing. But get the other king sing. I think. Okay. And so when you start watching, you start typing in 5-MeO DMT, these people really want to synthesize it. They want to synthesize it. They don't really like fucking with Gerry. You see what I'm saying? 'Cause Jerry's indigenous. Gerry, you believe in white Jesus?
Oh, what?
You know what I'm saying? And so there is a concentrated effort to keep this away once again from indigenous folks. So I was like, we're gonna put, what I say, 20 chairs.
Right.
So now we got people standing up, so we got more than 20 people here. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't about what the medicine is for, this color or that color, because I'm telling you, once you're on the toe, you forget all about all that black shit, white shit. I'm telling you, you can't comprehend, you cannot hold it. You cannot hold it. You gotta come back and then decide whether you even gonna pick that shit up again. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would love to have a whole smoke out part of the Ku Klux Klan, and that shit would be funny as hell. Smoke out the night. That's right. Time down.
I'll tell you this. If everybody in the world would do this one time, there'd be no more atheists, there'd be no more violence, there'd be no more war.
And I think suicide will go down too. A whole lot.
And people don't get it.
That's why they keep
Well,
it
first of
illegal,
all, death is an
They
illusion.
wanted to.
We've never been
Y'all
dead.
been in the corner.
And we will never die.
So we take this picture. What's up, Jerry? Come on, man.
We transition a lot, but we never die, we never die.
So, yeah, go on and get in the back then, Jerry, or something. Yeah, stand by her. There you go.
Everybody look at us. 1, 2, 3. You want me to turn the flash on?
No, it's good. You got everybody?
Got everybody.
Take one from that angle. We want to cover. Thank you, sir. Yes. All right, y'all find person in the room.
Yeah, you got those Indian concepts to teach. It's more of a relaxation, take away the stress. This a brand. This is Berry Blossom. It has about 19% CBD in it. Okay. So